So what is up, gamers? Finally, The Last of Us Part 1 PC specs, that means system requirements, are launched, where we are going to discuss, as always, the system requirements, and I am going to tell you in detail and talk about each and every GPU CPU requirements that are listed. Here you can see the 4 minimum requirements: recommended, performance and ultra. All the 4 requirements are given here, and I am going to discuss each and every type of requirement in detail, so stay tuned till the end, and let's begin the video. So as you can see here, what are the performance goals in the minimum requirements? That states 30 fps at the rate 720p, low graphics preset. Okay, that's fine. I don't know in today's era how many people are there who game on 720p at 30 fps. I know like there are so many people who still uses like entry level budget GPUs just like me, because you all know that I have a budget friendly GPU which is stated in the minimum system requirements. We will talk about that GPU further in the video. So let's talk about the CPU. AMD Ryzen 5 1500X, launched back in 2017, which was an 4-core 8-thread CPU. Really good CPU till date. Now even in 2023 it can handle latest games without any issues, just because we all know that games are mostly GPU dependent, but still you need a CPU which can give you a good single core performance just to keep up with the GPU that you are pairing it with. So CPU side, no problem, like i7 4770K, which is like a bit older CPU than the 1500X, but it is also an 4-core 8-threaded CPU. So I think the minimum should be, for now and for like I think minimum should be like 4-core and 8-thread. At least you should pair decent GPUs, like budget friendly GPUs, with these type of CPUs. So I think on the CPU side requirements, it is not very much high. It is just 4-core and 8-threaded CPU, and I think current generation i3, maybe 10th generation, maybe 12th generation, 13th generation, it can handle this game really easily, no problem in that. Next, the main thing that we are going to talk about, the GPU. So the 3 GPUs are stated here: AMD Radeon RX 470, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 970 and GTX 1050 Ti. So let me tell you first that among all these 3, 1050 Ti is the weakest among them. I know, please 1050 Ti users, don't be furious, because I am also using a 1050 Ti. So benchmark video will come soon on that GPU on the release date. I will try to bring the benchmark video on the release date, so stay tuned for that video. And as you can see here, 1050 Ti still performs really great if you are just compromising with the settings and resolution. I mostly run games on 1080p low settings with sometime using FSR on quality. So by the way, this game is going to come with the latest FSR version, which is AMD FSR 2.2, and I think it's gonna look really great, because FSR 2.2 is the latest version in the FSR 2 series, and is this game going to have that version on the release date. So 1050 Ti, 970 and 470, and the RAM requirement 16GB. I always say that please, if you are still using 8GB and you are doing gaming, you love do gaming, so please switch to 16GB at least in dual channel. If you are already having an 8GB single stick RAM, then add an additional one to make it dual channel 16GB, so it may help you in performance. So yeah, OS Windows 10 64-bit, obviously Windows 11 पे भी आराम से run कर जाएगा, and storage is like really insane. Like in today's generation, games are getting really and really big.
That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said. Okay, so storage is 100GB SSD. SSD is recommended, but you can still run this game on an HDD. I know the loading times will be really bad, but still, as we all know that Last of Us Part 1 is a PS5 native title, so yeah, SSD is highly recommended even with the low minimum system requirements. So let's talk about the minimum spec GPUs on the Tech Power Up GPUs. As you can see here, I have taken the 1050 Ti as the baseline, and we can search that. Like if you are having a GTX 770 R9 280X, and maybe an Arc A380. It is like 21% more powerful than the 1050 Ti. 1650 like 25% more. So you can go with like 1080p low settings, maybe using FSR on quality. You are going to get 30 plus experience without any issues. As already stated in the system requirements chart, RX 470 is given there, which is 33% more powerful than the 1050 Ti. And with GPU, whenever the game will come out, you can see the benchmarks of your respective GPU on the YouTube. Obviously, so many people are going to play this game because it is one of the best game from the PlayStation Studios, especially from Naughty Dog. So yeah, you can see here GTX 970, 47% performance. Like with all these three GPUs, at least I can assure you that you can run the game on 1080p lowest graphics settings with like using FSR2 on quality and easily getting 30 plus FPS on an average without any issues. So, and yeah, by the way, GTX 970 comes with like 4GB of GDDR5 VRAM, same with the 1050 Ti, and RX 470 has two variants, a 4GB and an 8GB. So the performance may vary sometimes if you are using like higher settings if you want to use, but I won't recommend. Just if you are having the minimum requirement GPU, just go with the low settings and you will get playable performance without any issues. So recommended requirements 60 FPS, high settings 1080p. Now it has jumped from 720 to 1080p, from 30 to 60 FPS, and from high settings. So definitely the requirement of CPU and GPU are going to increase a lot. So the CPU, as we can see here, is the AMD Ryzen 5 3600, fairly a new CPU, and it is a Zen 2 CPU, as you can see from the AMD, and i7 8700, which is also a great CPU. Both CPUs are 6 core and 12 thread. That's why I think this performance PC specs requirements whatever are given here, I think these are very much accurate. But I have found so many funny things in this. I will discuss further in the video. So CPU requirements are jumps, like if you are going to use higher settings and higher resolution, definitely the load on the GPU will increase, but not on the CPU. But still the CPU are scaled properly. So like 4 core 8 threads now jumps to 6 cores and 12 threads. So I think yeah, it's going to be fine. Not that CPU intensive game, but definitely it's going to be GPU intensive, as it is a native PS5 title. So the that I was previously talking about, the most funny thing, AMD Radeon RX 5800 XT. I don't know when this GPU was launched. I don't know. I just remember like from the AMD 5000 series there was like 4 to 5 GPUs. Let me remind you: Radeon RX 5500 XT, 4GB and 8GB variant, RX 5600 XT, RX 5700 and 5700 XT. And I don't know other than these 4-5 GPUs which GPUs were launched. I don't still remember, because 5800 XT I have never seen. Maybe it's a mistake from AMD. They like wanted to state the 5700 XT, but by mistake they have stated 5800 XT. I don't know why. And from the Nvidia side, they are recommending 2070 Super and 3060. And you can assure that these all GPUs that are stated here, except I don't know this Craft 5800 XT, all these 3 and 4 GPUs performs very close to each other, as I will show you further in the video from the charts. 16GB obviously recommended, especially if you're gaming at 1080p, because 8GB is not going to cut in 2023. So please upgrade to 16GB at least. And I think 16GB is going to last you for like 3 to 4 years more, I think so. And Windows 10, like Windows 10 is always recommended in all the recommended or minimum system requirements. If you're using Windows 11, there will be no problem. Definitely it's going to support on the Windows 11 also. And the same storage, 100GB SSD, obviously recommended. So let's talk about the GPUs from the recommended specs, that is for 1080p 60 high settings. As you can see here, everyone, GeForce RTX 2070 Super, as I have taken it as a baseline. I think like these GPUs are maybe a little bit overkill for 1080p high settings. You can like easily max out the game at 1080p and enjoy it over 60 FPS. I don't know, just they are stated at high settings. Maybe it is correct. Who knows? Like this game is going to be super intensive or maybe well optimized like Days Gone. Days Gone was the perfect game back in 2021. It was very well optimized. Those phenomenal graphics and the optimization was really good. So 2070 Super. And the GPUs that are mentioned in the requirements is the like 6600 XT, very close to it, as I already told you. And which GPU was stated there? Okay, yeah, RTX 3060 was also stated there, and it will be somewhere here around. Yeah, 3060 is like 8% slower than a 2070 Super. Yes, but you are going to get similar performance. The 3060 that is stated there, it is 8 gigabytes. So if you are having a 8 GB 3060, that is going to work fine in this game. You are going to like just 1080p max out 60 FPS gaming without any issues. And I don't know what like 5800 XT, the GPU doesn't exist. You can search on the internet. I think it is a mistake from the developers, but I'm going to assume it is a 5700 XT because that was the high-end GPU, the most high-end GPU in the 5000 series. So it is just like 7% slower than the 2070 Super. So these GPUs are like really close to each other. So 1080p max settings performance, like high to ultra settings performance, 60 fps without any issues you are going to get. And obviously these all GPUs have 8 gigabytes of video memory. So like if you are want to game at like high to ultra settings at 1080p, so at least you need, I think, 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So I think it is clear to you all. So let's switch off to performance settings. I don't know why they are calling it performance settings. 1440p 60 fps high settings. Now I think this is the resolution that is becoming more and more popular nowadays. So the CPU requirements are not that much increased, just the generation has been increased because obviously you need single core performance, like more and more single core performance. So 5600 belongs to the Zen 3 architecture from the AMD Ryzen series. It is like last generation CPU, and obviously the i7 9700K, which is also I think 8 cores and 16 thread. Correct me, no, it is an 8 core 8 thread CPU if I'm not wrong. Yes, but I think still the 5600X is a bit better. Like I'm not going to talk about CPU that much because it is not that relevant, but yeah, the scaling from recommended to performance is not that much, so there will be no problem on the CPU side. If you are just using like a 6 core 12 thread CPU without any issues, you can run the game. So AMD Radeon RX 6750 XT, yes, fine. Nvidia GeForce RTX 2080 Ti, yes, we can say that these both GPUs are very close to each other. So 1440p, the RAM requirements is just like double. I don't think so. 32 GB, I don't think so, man. Hogwarts Legacy sometimes uses like above 16 gigabytes, but like on 1440p I don't think it will go above 16, but we will see. If you have 16 gigabytes, no problem, you can run the game without any issues. Windows 10 and that same storage device. So we are going to talk about the GPUs. So I have made the Radeon RX 6750 XT. This is really a great GPU, really great GPU in the current market. You know, this GPU offers the best value if you are looking for a GPU for like 1440p gaming, and which will be future proof. Like even for like 5 to 10 years, this GPU is going to last you very long. Like you can easily game like after 5 years even at 1080p high to ultra settings on this GPU. So 6750 XT is really a great GPU nowadays. 6750 XT is like the baseline, and you can see that 2080 Ti is going to, yeah, 2080 Super and 2080 Ti is really close to each other. 3060 Ti is really close, you know. 2080 Ti, just like they are equal in performance, like 100%. So there will be no problem if you're 3070. Definitely going to max out 1440p high to ultra graphics. 3070 Ti, 6800 XT, 3080. Definitely if you're using a 3080, you are easily going to max out this game at 1440p ultra settings and get a smooth 60 fps on an average without any issues. If you are using like a maybe a 3060 Ti, that is also great, you know. 1440p high settings GPU, 2080 Super, 6650 XT, you can like 1440p go with high settings like sub 60 fps without any issues. Arc A750 is also capable if you are running the game on 1440p high settings. So yeah, these GPUs are really great. 6900 XT, you can like crank up to like maybe 4K medium high settings without any issues. So these are the GPUs. If you have these all GPUs, you can run the game on 1440p high to ultra settings without any issues at the rate 60 fps. So the maximum ultra settings, which goes for the ultimate performance at 4K ultra preset with 60 fps. Everyone wants this, you know, type of PC which can run all of the latest games at this resolution and this frame rate, and especially all those ultra graphic settings. So AMD Ryzen 9, obviously they are going to state higher end CPUs, but I think for a high resolution like 4K, you don't need that high end of CPU. You can just go with like a 6 core 12 thread, 8 core and 16 thread, and you will be fine without any doubt, right? So here the GPUs are stated which are really latest, you know, from Nvidia and AMD respectively. So the GPUs given here is AMD Radeon RX 7900 XT, which is, you know, I would not say the greatest GPU, but a decent GPU. If you can find this GPU at a reasonable price, and Nvidia GeForce RTX 4080, this GPU is really overpriced, and I think not many people are liking this. So but yeah, what we can do, so these GPUs are stated here, obviously 32 gigabytes of RAM. Yes, it is obvious that if you are going to build a this type of high-end PC, definitely at least you are going to use 32 gigabytes of RAM, especially in dual channel. So and the OS and storage requirements are the same as all the requirements that are stated before. So we are going to talk about the GPU. So I am going to take the Radeon RX 7900 XT as the baseline, as it is stated here, and as you can see, the RTX 4080 is a bit faster, like 16% faster than the 7900 XT. Just as you have seen here, 7900 XT can get you 4K ultra 60 FPS with FSR on quality, but you don't need to use like FSR or DLSS to get 60 FPS, as it is stated here. We will see in the benchmarks whenever the game will come out. So by the way, the game is coming out on 28th of March, and yeah, this game is going to be awesome. I know that, man. The Last of Us, you know, the web series, the TV show is going on the HBO, that is really phenomenal. So the GPUs, like if you are running like a 4070 Ti, 3090 Ti, 4080, 7900 XT, 4090, definitely you are just like going to, you know, crank up all the settings, run the game on 4K, like 60 plus FPS without any issues. What I think this game is going to come with AMD FSR, the latest version 2.2, and maybe it is not confirmed yet, I think, but it is going to come with NVIDIA DLSS 3 frame generation. So if it comes, then it is really good for both, like it is really good for NVIDIA, and like the AMD FSR version is also coming, so it is also good for all the other GPUs. If you are having a low end GPU, so there will be no problem in running the game at lower settings with the FSR on quality. So these are the most high end GPUs, like 6950 XT, 3080 Ti and 4070 Ti. You can run this game on max settings at 4K 60 plus FPS without any issues. So this is the whole analysis of the Last of Us system requirements. I hope you liked the video. If you still have any doubts, as I have already discussed everything in the video. If you still have any doubts, like if you want that this game is going to run on your PC, just tell me your, you know, main specs, like what CPU you are using, RAM, GPU. Just tell me that, so I can, you know, analyze and tell you how much performance you are going to get on your PC. It doesn't matter it's a laptop or a desktop. You can just comment down below. I will try to, you know, answer your question right away. So if you like this video, please like it, comment down below, subscribe my channel for more new awesome videos, and I will see you in the next one.